of no, we're past 80 days of no sports. What would we? 94 days away from supposed football if everything is on actual point. We got so much stuff going in the world, but I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in to Sports 56 Happy Hour with your very good friend Johnny Radio, and of course our good friend, my good friend Gabe Kuhn at G_Kuhn71. And always remember the AM 560 is the original gangster. You love it, but don't forget the two FM channels, 87.7 and 96.1. They are absolute amazing. The 96.1 has become my new favorite. And don't forget to check us out, because if you're stuck in your car and you are just dying to listen to what maybe Peter or Eli or Wolo are saying, guess what? You don't have to wait in your car. If you have the Sports 56 WHBQ app, you're good. If you have us on Twitter, you're good. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Instagram, you're all good. So check all those things out. And again, you can actually watch us live. You can see us in the Family Leisure studios. And by the way, Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. They're just north of I-40. And I promise you right now, I know a lot of people want to chill in their backyard. I live in a very beautiful community. We have a community pool. The community pool looks beautiful, but we can't use it because of COVID-19. So it looks beautiful. And yes, I love the community, but because we are...
But that's all it does at this point. It just look beautiful. That's it. Beautiful.
But if it was my own pool,
okay,
then I could swim in it. And that's what Family Leisure, $15.99. They're starting a complete pool set in your very own backyard. You don't have to have a guard telling you, no, sir, you can't go get in the pool. It's closed right now, because guess what? It's in your own backyard. So check them out, Family Leisure, where family and fun come together, Gabe. I'm telling you. That pool that looks so beautiful, it is hard for me to look at. Now, I might not be able to get in it for a month, but you know what I do have to say? I'm just glad I'm not the guy that has to clean it. Well, welcome in, and we got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to give you a little afternoon Peter. That's right, a little Peter in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. Hardwood at 2:30. Me and Gabe are going to get into the leadoff. But before I get into anything, my good friend Gabe, he can read better than me because he's not dyslexic. He probably just also sounds better, too. But anyway, he's going to read the Mike Miller statement that has me, in all honesty, and I'm not joking, it has me worried.
Some people, this might not be surprising to some people. Some people thought that he would move on for, a head coaching job at some point too. So you knew that maybe he'd be out the door, but you never figured that it would be resigning for maybe family reasons. I'll read this. He says, the past 2 years have been amazing, and I have so many people to thank. Coach Hardaway for believing in me, all our players for their commitment, the University of Memphis, and its incredible fans, my wonderful wife and kids, and the entire city of Memphis for everything you have done for me and my family. All of you made this opportunity possible for me, and I'm truly grateful. As much as I've loved this job and had a blast being part of the special program Coach is building, the past few months have made me realize that it's time for me to spend more time focused on family and wherever that journey will take me. I will find a way to stay in basketball and continue to make an impact on this city that I love so much. I will always be a Tiger. Go Tigers, go.
I can't believe I'm saying this, man. When you listen to that, does it he says it extremely well. It's said with grace and eloquence and compassion and love towards the Tigers. There's nothing bad in that. But what I'm just trying to tell you, and ask Gabe Kuhn, and I wonder if you feel the same thing. As a Tiger fan, do you feel like, damn, as much love as he's giving us, that something died almost with the basketball program? And I know that Mike is still there, and he's going to be a father, and he's going to do his things. He's not going to work for another team. I don't believe he's going to take – but he's been on every major person that has come to this university. Doesn't it feel like Mike Miller – now, Penny Hardaway is the man. Don't get me wrong. But Mike, talk about the anybody who's a better right hand. I don't know if there's been a right hand that's been as good for Coach Hardaway, or if there will ever be a right hand as good as Mike Miller has been for Coach Hardaway.
Well, he was, along with Penny, a big reason you're getting all these recruits,
Yes.
right? He was one of the big. He was probably even more so than Penny in some situations, especially you look
In
at
some of them,
Boogie
yes.
Ellis and Lester Quinones are two big examples of this. He was bigger in their recruiting than even
Also
Penny
bigger
was.
in
So
a few of the failures, like he was really big on Jalen Green, who didn't come. But,
Yeah,
but
but
again, this
you
is
were
what
in
I'm
the
saying.
race. You were in the
That's
race.
what I was getting ready to say. You wouldn't have been in the race without Mike, is what I'm trying to say. So, and the reason I also brought that out, Gabe, is there are people who have, which already bothers me. There is no reason to try to deface Mike Miller or defame him or say we don't need him. There is only one thing that you do as a Tiger fan and a true Tiger fan. And if maybe you're a young man and you don't understand and you feel like fandom is just yelling and screaming, if you're not with us, you're against us. No, this is never the case. This is a guy who is a guy who wants Penny to be successful. He wants all the people who have gone to the university continue with the university. He wants them, I believe, to stay with the university. But he's also a person that just because he is not right now possibly going to be with us, he is still always with us. So for you people out there who are saying, hey, if he's no longer a Tiger, hey, blah, blah, blah. No, man, that is the most that's such a small-minded view.
In my opinion, that's a narcissistic way
It's
of
a
looking at it
small-minded
too.
view that it just makes me sad.
Look, he broke it down in this statement to the point where he's saying these past 3 months that, and you look at it, what's been going on in the world? You have COVID-19, you have social justice stuff going on. You have to look at what's been going on in the world, and if he thinks that he needs to go spend more time with family at this given moment, hell, go do it. I will never tell someone in my right mind, being a non-selfish person, that they can't go spend time with their family and feel like they have to do that, because he clearly feels the need to be out of basketball at the moment, and if that's what he feels, that's what he feels.
And I agree, and I can't say it any better than Gabe, so I'm going to leave it right there. Before we get, though,
The question, real quick though, the question is, who do you replace him with? Who do you
this
find?
is something I don't know. This is what the reason I said he's the best right hand is because it's like if you lose your right hand, no offense, you can get a prosthetic, and that's what I was trying to say. It might work. You might grab something. You might be able to go skiing or wakeboarding. I don't know what the heck you can do. I don't know much. But what I'm trying to say is it won't ever be the exact same. It'll be your right hand, but it won't be Mike Miller, if you know what I'm trying to say. And I was just trying to give that, analogy of, or euphemism, whatever the hell they are. I can't even remember these days. It's been so long.
You haven't studied the English
I was going to
textbook in
say
a while?
it's been 20 some odd years, but I can't remember what it is. I'm just trying to give you a visualization that with Mike Penny, like Penny had somebody that he always believed in, trusted, knew had the back of the program, had the back of Penny, and was right there with. I mean, and by the way, he's the NBA guy just like Penny. He was with LeBron. He was a hell of a recruiter. He was a hell of a piece of this Memphis program for even the small time that he was there. And again, to replace Mike Miller, I'm trying to explain to you is it would be like you out there trying to replace your right arm. I don't think there's going to be one guy that is going to be able to replace Mike Miller. It's going to be a joint effort from the entire coaching staff, and whoever they hire, don't even try to put him in Mike Miller's shoes, because that would be that would be a miscarriage of justice.
Now, we'll get to the leadoff here in a second, but as far as Mike Miller's role with the team, it was big. It absolutely was big. Is it a reason to push the panic alarm
No.
that he's resigning and stepping down? No, absolutely not.
It's
You
not
still
like
have a
he's going
good
to
team
Wichita
returning.
State.
You still have Penny Hardaway, who is proven to be a fantastic recruiter by himself. You got Tony Madlock, Cody Toppert still in the building. You have a bunch of guys that are still ready to keep this program on an upward trajectory. It's not a reason to push the panic alarm, but it definitely is a loss. No question.
It is a loss, and it's also a time just to reflect and say thank you to Mike, in my opinion. And definitely for the people saying if you're not with us, you're against us, that's BS. Read his thing a lot closer. He's going to spend more time with his family. And again, say thank you for what he's done. No, we don't have a Sweet 16 or a banner to hang in the rafter. But if you can tell me that he didn't help change the program, again, I just apologize and will say to you, I firmly disagree with that statement. Now, right before we get to the leadoff, I did want to say this because it has to do with college basketball. And I wanted to ask you, Gabe Kuhn, before I get to the leadoff, because you asked me a whole lot of questions. Did you see what the judge said today about Zion Williamson?
He must answer questions, right? Is it today or yesterday?
No. Yesterday, it was the judge was thinking. Do you know what I'm saying? It is coming out. They came out today, and here's what I'm reading, and at least I understand. As of Williamson, since he's being sued by Gina Ford, Primetime Sports Marketing, after the termination of his deal, and has been accused of taking illegal benefits to play for the Duke Blue Devils, the judge has now come in and said he will be required, as of now, to answer questions on this topic under oath. This was reported at 8:25 Central Time, 9:25 Eastern, and they said this came straight up out of the court because they were still questioning, they were still trying to should I make him answer these under oath? Today the hammer was dropped. Duke, they're sweating so bad.
No question.
Wanting people to pay attention to George Floyd. They're wanting people to pay attention
Adidas,
to COVID-19.
Nike, everybody's sweating.
Kansas. They want anybody to pay attention to anything but what is coming out in this article.
So I saw the report last night that they were likely to make him answer all these questions. I don't know what it means. I think it's sort of – I saw a report about it being a double-edged sword and the fact that Gina Ford and her company, Prime Sports Marketing, might be in trouble for reaching out to him in the first place during his college career.
Yes,
so it's going to be an interesting case here.
It looks like
I wonder how it ends.
In trouble, except for actually Zion.
Well, Zion might have to forfeit. Bad. He might have to pay some money out in the end of the day. He might have to.
And again, he's just signed a $90 million deal. I don't think it's going to be if he has to pay a $2 million fine.
Well, the lawsuit was for $100 million at first. Correct? I know it's talked down from there, obviously, but I'm just
not even going to be close.
I get that.
Again, he might have a little $2 million slap on the wrist, and he'll keep his $90 million. But anyway, we talked about all that. You know the NBA. I hope everybody's seen the Woj bomb. 6 games. If you're the Pelicans, why I say the Pelicans? If you're the Hornets, it's all about the Pelicans. It's a 6-game system. If you are 6 games within that final, you're in. If you're the Hornets and you're 7 games out, you're literally basically, you know what? It starts with an F and ends with a D.
There's more details that Shams put out earlier. We'll get to those in a little bit.
Yeah, and it is really sad, but I do have to say I think it's absolute BS. We'll talk more about this, and I just wanted to say one quick thing. Did you see which teams actually make it because of this? New Orleans, Portland, Phoenix, Sacramento, San Antonio, and Washington. The Hornets are out, even though they had the right win, wrong loss. I mean, to me, it's just BS. They put their 22 in, and again, it feels like they put their 22 in because of Zion. But before we talk about anything else, it's time for us to get to the leadoff. Man, that was pretty good, by the way, because I know you weren't prepared for that. He's that good, y'all. He's that good.
Hey, man, I'm a little off. We have some statements from Laird Veach and Penny Hardaway that we will read to you after the break.
Wow.
After we get done with the leadoff, actually. Now I'm going to start here. Hawks coach Lloyd Pierce. Obviously, the Hawks are 20-47. And he says he wants to keep playing. He wants to finish the season. He says, I coach the youngest team in the NBA, and the biggest thing we can benefit from is playing basketball. And the game has been taken away from us at this point. Is this an overreaction, considering they only have 15 games left?
You know what? This one I'm confused about, to be honest with you, Gabe. I don't – it feels like – it just feels like a stupid scenario. Do you know what I mean by that? Am I wrong for saying that? Like, it doesn't feel very well thought out. It doesn't seem to make a million. I mean, a lot of people right now are paying attention to so much that's going on. I like Coach Lloyd Pierce. I understand. You know what he wants? He wants his young kid, Trae Young, to get a little bit of playoff basketball.
John Collins as well.
You got a young team that he wants them to get. They're not invited. But can I ask you something? You think Cleveland or the Golden State wants to be a part of this?
No.
So,
I wonder if Hawks players want to be a part of this at this moment.
Probably not. Honestly, do you know what I think this is? This is a guy right now who's a coach, and he's mad that he can't coach up his young team because he believes they're on the precipice of something. Not saying he's correct, but I think that's what he believes, and he feels like he's getting slighted. Just like the Grizzlies are getting slighted.
No question. 15 games, though. I don't know how much growth you can have done in that amount of time without playoffs. But Lloyd Pierce is entitled to his opinion.
Sure is.
Now, the MLB. Now, I just saw a lot of people report that the 114-game schedule that the MLB Players Association has proposed to the owners has been denied by Major League Baseball. They denied it. Now, yesterday, sort of on a different thought process here, Matt Snyder of CBS reported that the MLB is only looking at playing regional opponents. You'd play your division and the counterpart division in the other league. So if you're in the AL East, you'd play the AL East and the NL East. Is this the best move, or is there a certain amount of unfairness given you'd only play certain teams and not every division is built the same?
I'm going to tell you, when are we going to wake up? And this is, and I can't believe I'm about to use this, but I'm going to use this. It's kind of like I had a huge argument with this person today. I had about 50 people put in my DMs, my personal messages on Twitter about how somebody wrote in the Wall Street Journal that systemic racism is a farce. Well, if you look at it, it's an opinion piece. It's by a conservative lawyer. She's not even a journalist. She writes out this piece just to basically get some stuff out there, throw some stuff out there, and see if it sticks. Again, this feels like you're just throwing BS out there and seeing what sticks is what I'm trying to get at. It's like, hey, while everybody's just up in arms, let's just piss them off even more. Here, watch this. And I don't even get it. The Major League Baseball Players Association, they're on board with the league's plan to play for regional schedule. Flat out, unequivocally, they said they're on board because of this damn thing called a global pandemic and COVID-19. Yo, y'all forgot about it already? Anyway, if the players are on board, if the coaches are on board, and if you're just a fan sitting at home and you're like, let me get mad, and then I'll tweet a guy who's also mad, and then you write an article just to tick people off, do you know what you are? You're realistically just an a-hole and a fearmonger and somebody who just wants to stir up a little ruckus. Shut up. By the way, we can't even get these guys on the damn field. Can you just let the two sides work this out and start playing baseball before you keep throwing BS up against the wall and try to get it to stick? It just pisses me off. I'm sorry.
So you in or out?
I'm out.
Out. I understand, man. It's
not
every
unfair.
Division.
Nothing in the world is fair, y'all. And by the way, that's what I was trying to say with the George Floyd and Brown. The world is not fair, and we are in more so like we have ever seen it. It is not fair. But the one thing is, if the owners and the players are cool with it, why are the fans upset? Are they going to get baseball? I mean, if we do this regional play, are we going to get baseball?
Yeah, if it goes through.
Then shut up. And I'm sorry.
Baseball's baseball
you know I'm not
at this
talking
point.
to you,
I agree.
By the way, I'm saying for those who are complaining, and especially, what's my man's name? Matt, shut up.
All right, moving on to another one that might be a nice sore subject here. Yesterday we talked about Dolan, James Dolan, and MSG.
Holin Dolan.
His company
You
coming
read
out.
His new
He had
idiotic statement?
he had an email yesterday that didn't really address the issue, and a lot of people took problem with it. He made the statement because he had a lack of a public statement. Now, he had a follow-up memo.
It was an attempt, in my opinion. I wouldn't call it
okay, well, we'll talk.
It was an attempt to clarify. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. But the follow-up memo condemns racism against anyone, period. He says racism is born of ignorance, and it's up to each of us to understand the person working beside you is your equal without regard to color or any of the qualities that make us diverse. And any injustice to one person is an injustice to everyone. This is how we at MSG fight racism. We start with ourselves, and through our actions, we define who we are. That is how we can be an example to the wider world. That was the point of my message yesterday. Is this any... I have a question. Is this any better or is it too late?
I don't think it's better at all. And by the way, late. Hell yeah, it's late. Did you see his first memo? Have you ever heard that statement? You don't get a second chance to make a first impression?
The last sentence, that was the point of my message yesterday. Was it? I didn't see that at all. I didn't read that. Read it that way. I didn't read it
in there anywhere. That's how we can. Anyway, dude, listen. His thoughts, his actions, the way they define them and all that stuff in his memo that he's in his head. Again, everything's in James Dolan's head. Do you know that he sings the blues? I heard this the other day. Like his band, he didn't even know what the blues are about. But yeah, he's inspired by the blues, he said. Dolan.
He's got to pay to play places, though.
Dude, yes, he does. You brought up something that it just makes me, in all honesty, Gabe, laugh at. And this is the kind of thing that hurts me right here. And I hate doing this. It's kind of like somebody, sent this to me today. And I'm going to get a little bit off subject, but I'm on subject, trust me. It has to do with George Floyd. It has to do with, Derek Chauvin. And it has to do with basically a guy sitting there sending me again. He sent me a thing that says systemic racism does not exist in this country. And he says, one bad cop doesn't make up for the 99.999% of all the good ones out there. Okay. And then he says, again, I hope the MF gets what he deserves. Are there bad officers in bad departments, bad priests? It's yes. And that's being said, we need change. But, and again, there's always this but I don't see systemic racism anywhere. It's like Dick Fangio coming out and saying what he says. Again, you can choose to see what you want to see, and you can choose to see reality. I've brought up the very simple analogy of basically using sawdust. You can walk in the dark into an old barn where they just got done sawing something, and you're choking on it. You don't know why you're choking because you can't see it. But in the daylight, you can see the sawdust. If you choose to see what's going on, that is your choice. If you don't choose to see it, that is also your own choice. My man James Dolan has chosen not only to not see it, but ignore it, hope to write it out, and then lie to the American people and the public as if they're ignorant, small-minder, and he's of greater intelligence, and he can pull some hat trick. Hey, Mr. Dolan, we read your first statement. Your second statement also sucks. And just so you know, you're not David Blaine. You can't make your racism disappear. It is on full display. You might as well put it on Times Square. We also saw it with Charles. What was it he threw out?
Charles Oakley.
He threw out the oak tree. Charles
He also had a run-in with Spike Lee.
And had a run-in with Spike Lee because he used the wrong door quote. But he's used that door for 22 years. Anyway, James Dolan, I shouldn't give you any more time because you know what? I have absolutely, and this is not a joke, don't tell a lot of people this, but I've done number 2 with more talent. Now, I'll be back in 2 shakes and probably getting in a little trouble after that one. But guess what? We're coming back to be real. Hit us up at 67129. This is Sports 56 Happy Hour. It's always brought to you by my very good friend at Memphis Farmers, Chad Gatlin. And I want to remind you that Chad Gatlin at Memphis Farmers, right now, he can do auto, home, life, business, all that good stuff. But this is the one thing that's very important. 41.5 million people are right now out of work. That means that they don't have their policy, God forbid they passed away. Now, I have, everybody wants to have, I have an insurance policy through my work God forbid if I die, I know they'll be on good footing. But I also have an insurance policy through Farmers, which is like a double whammy. Because what if I lost my job? This one will travel with me, go with me forever as long as I make this small payment. And the earlier you get in, the smaller payment and plus the bigger payout. Make sure your family is on a steady footing. God forbid all of us are going to end up meeting our maker one day. But when you do, don't get up there and start thinking to yourself, damn, I hope I left my family okay. Know for a fact that your family's right. Give my friend Chad Gatlin a call at 901-235-1176, and he'll promise you this. He'll take care of them if you aren't there to take care of them. MemphisFarmers.com on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
You get into bed and find your mind still going? If so, try ZzzQuil Pure Z's liquid melatonin. It's made with an optimal level of melatonin for no next day grogginess. Pure Z's liquid melatonin, because sleep is a beautiful thing, at stores now.
Hi, this is Rob Brown. Join Pete Cordelli and me Saturdays 8 to 9 a.m. for Sidelines here on Sports 56 WHBQ, 87.7 FM and 96.1. We'll cover the Memphis Tigers, the SEC, and your favorite team. Give us a call. That's Sidelines, Saturday mornings, 8 to 9 a.m. Sidelines is presented by Duncan Williams Asset Management. So get up and give us a call.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Well, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why.
For if we don't find the next whiskey bar. Let me tell you a little something, people. We're going to have a little bit of fun today, and we got great news. NBA has come out. they're actually going to get back to playing. We still got our fingers crossed. We're praying baseball gets their act together. It seems like they're starting to realize how bad it looks publicly and how important it is to get back on the field and play. Hopefully they're going to get their act together. We got a lot of organizations trying to figure things out. We got a lot of organizations that are doing things right. We also got a lot that are absolutely doing it wrong. And again, MLB right now, one of the big challenges, and I got to reiterate this before I get to Gabe Kuhn, who has some great information about Mike Miller, Laird Veach, Penny Hardaway. We're going to read some statements. We're going to get you Tiger fans caught up to date what's going on. But before I get to that on Sports 56 Happy Hour with your buddy Johnny Radio and Gabe Kuhn, I want to remind you, the challenges for the 2020 season in baseball, to me, are looking so real and so scary. But I get, like yesterday, good news, and I feel like, okay, they're going to start playing, even if they don't have basically a deal. Then you get things like today that come out, and you have MLB players who are continuing negotiation, but then they send over stuff that's so out of line that there's no way that the owners are going to agree to it. Then the owners send things out of to the players, and again, they're so far apart. I feel like it would be easier to walk from New York to California to almost get these two sides to agree.
So when you have a negotiation, like usually
supposed to listen.
You step toward each other, right? You like make steps to help each other. And okay, you want that, let's compromise and make it more like that. Every single proposal that I have read or even seen reported is completely stepping away from each other. There's no common ground found. And it's so bizarre to me. And they're having this discussion in the public eye, which I think is just the dumbest thing you could possibly do if you want to grow your sport. It's awful.
They're making Jeff Passan very popular.
And again, I brought this up yesterday. Chris Paul and Adam Silver have this great relationship, and the players and the NBA owners all have this good relationship. What's the MLB doing? You can't, if you're the MLB commissioner and Rob Manfred, you can't get one side of the story. You can't just get the owner's side of the story and expect your labor force to be happy with that. They want to be heard too.
So you've also heard this before I get to Gabe, who's going to give Laird Veach, Penny Hardaway, and everybody else's statement. MLB, talking about the shortened season, again, they are going to play their players 30.8% of their salaries. And they're trying not to give them any of the playoff revenue for a 50-game season. That almost sounds absolute ludicrous. The players come back and they send them, hey, you're going to play 115 games.
And you're going to pay the whole thing.
And you're going to pay the whole thing. But then the playoffs would be during NFL season, and the owners don't want to compete against the NFL. That's very simple. They want also October to be the World Series and the AL and NL championship, and that's what they want. And if the owners want that, the players got to realize, hey, we got to work and we got to grind that in. We can't keep pushing this stupid stuff. But the one thing is, July 1st, the one thing I can tell you, MLB owners, MLB players both have said, if we don't have our act together and if we're actually not playing baseball on July 4th, which is America's, Independence Day, 4th of July, if they're not, it's going to be such a black eye to baseball. I said it yesterday. I heard my good friend Brett Norsworthy quote me at the end of the show saying, the millennials, the people who are younger than that, they're going to forget baseball. The people that are my age and older that love baseball, we're never going to forgive because it's going to break our hearts. So baseball, get your act together. But now I also got to bring in what's going on with college sports. Now, before I do that, I do have to say one other thing, though. The NBA Board of Governors has come out and said that it is going to be 16 teams plus New Orleans, Portland, Phoenix, Sacramento, San Antonio, Washington, giving you the whole, 22-game playoff thing series that they're about to have. They're going to have that, which I still don't understand everything. Do you understand the play-in for the
I do.
8th
They're
spot.
good. So what I saw, this is from Woj and Shams. Also, they
Yeah, I
both
read the
reported
Woj
this.
thing. You understood
It was
that?
8 regular seasons games.
So okay, you got 8 regular season
8
games,
regular
but then you're gonna have
season
a playoff for the 8th
now,
spot.
after those 8 regular season games, if teams on either side, if the Eastern or Western Conference are within 4 games, they will be allowed to play in. Now, the 8 seed who is locked into the 8 seed at the end of these 8 regular season games will have double elimination, and the play-in teams, the teams that are outside of the 8 seed, will be single elimination. So I think we need to understand that we were never.
I saw this.
We were
okay,
never.
Do you understand it?
Yeah, I understand it.
Wait. Okay, hold on. So I don't.
Okay.
Because I've never seen.
If
No, I
you're-
do get it. No.
Okay,
I guess
okay.
what I'm trying to say is I actually understand the format, but what I'm trying to explain to you is this is the NBA. The NBA had the regular season, and the regular season set the postseason. We've never had a damn play-in tournament for the 8 damn spot. Like, I've never seen a team that's been like, oh, come here, Zion. Hey, come here, Zion. Let me tell you something. We want you so bad. I don't care if it's the 8 spot. We're going to do everything to make sure
But
that Zion's there.
I think we
like,
did.
come on,
but
man.
I think even the most, loyal Grizz fan had an idea that they weren't just going to go ahead with 8 and 8 on each side. Like, they were going to play in. Like, you just sort of knew they want to
why
squeeze
is
money
it
out of it.
after-
They want to
okay,
squeeze money out of it and
after
get
the
as
8
many
so let's
teams
just
as they
say,
can in it.
After the 8 regular season games, though, again, this is, I guess, why I'm so frazzled. So the rest of the teams are going to do what? Sit around chilling Disney World, watching the playing games?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't
wasn't
know.
there
They
a
have
big
the 8
complaint?
regular. They're going to have 8 regular season games too.
They don't want to be have an extended layoff period before playoffs.
So-
but if you're the top, teams in either conference, you're not in this little playoff tournament. You're actually sitting and watching. So
I guess-
aren't you having a little time off resting?
I guess the assumption is those 8 regular season games to in the regular season will be suffice for that. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's what they seem to think. This is obviously not all the way approved and everything. They assume it will get approved,
Oh,
but
it's
I
pretty
think
much going
as
through.
far as some of the other things we were
It's
discussing, though, as far as the other things we were discussing, this is not as bad as just going straight into playoffs and having the 4 teams behind the Grizzlies play for that 8 spot and have the Eastern Conference set. I think this is a lot better
Question.
than some of those thoughts.
So it like in all actuality, more than likely, 4 games, all 7 teams are probably going to be within 4. You're playing 8. They're all within 6. I mean, the team needs, you're going to have a lot of teams. Again, what I'm trying to say is there's going to be a lot of basketball played while everybody else is sitting there chilling. I just, again, it almost makes me look at this kind of thing and think to the Hornets, I am ticked off about that one little game. The rest of the people, you know how you talked about my man for Atlanta, how ticked off he was?
Yeah.
That's a lot of basketball. They're the youngest basketball team in the NBA, and they're not playing any more games, but a bunch of other teams are now going to do this. I don't know, man. I feel like the NBA is making something that they didn't have to make gimmicky.
I knew it wasn't realistic, but I think there is something to be said about getting this whole season behind you, and when you look at it, it just kind of makes sense because you're talking about 8 seeds playing the 1 seeds, the Bucks and the Lakers. They're not. No offense to,
I hate to say
the
it, you're
Trailblazers, the Grizzlies, the Spurs, all these teams, but I can't see them beating the Lakers in the first round of a playoff series. This is not even realistic to think about. But I understand fairness, and I knew that this was going to be the direction the NBA took.
Last thing I'm saying, then I'm giving the mic to you because you got a lot of very important thing for Tigers fans to lay out. But this is the last thing I'm going to say is it is stupid that I've spent 6 minutes talking about Washington, San Antonio, Phoenix, Portland with Dame Time, even New Orleans with Zion, unless I'm talking about Zion and him having to go talk about Duke cheating and getting paid under oath, because that's not going to look good for Duke. And again, the Grizzlies, all the teams that we're talking about are going to have their own little play-in tournament. I'm sure the owner's going to make a little money. I don't know if the players are going to make a little extra money. Gives an opportunity for the COVID-19 to spread. And again, you have people sitting there waiting. I've always said this. Gabe can sit there and he can attest to this. I have said the most important thing is to get this year behind you. 2020 has got to get in your rearview mirror. If they would have gone 1 through 16, as simple as that, you start the playoffs, you crown a champion, you hand out the Larry O'Brien trophy, and you know what? You start the draft, and you get Major League Baseball, college football, college basketball, the NFL. You let everybody else worry, and then you get to completely plan for the entire next year, and it's like you actually get to sit back and watch. But you know what? You're also the first. And you would be the one to help bring this country back together. And people will never forget that.
But granted, I knew they weren't going to go that direction. I just knew it. I mean, it was obvious. It was obvious. Now, we have mentioned earlier, just a reminder, Mike Miller has stepped down.
Heartbreak.
Resigned from his position as assistant coach at the University of Memphis. Laird Veach has come out and given a statement, and Penny Hardaway as well. I'm going to give you Laird Veach's right now. On behalf of the University of Memphis, I want to wish Mike Miller the best of luck in the next chapter in his life and his career. I have the utmost respect for his decision to spend more time with his family. Mike has been a wonderful ambassador for our program and our city, and I have no doubt his future will be filled with success. I think people need to learn from that. You should have utmost respect for his decision to have family time. Now, also, Penny Hardaway comes out. I want to thank my brother, Mike Miller, for the 2 years he was with the team. I wish him well in his future endeavors. We will stay in touch, and I look forward to him attending practices from time to time.
And I have to honestly, again, I'm a Tiger fan. Y'all know that. I never sit there and lie to y'all and tell y'all I don't root for any other team in this entire world. I don't have a team. I like players. I like stories. I love coming here and talking to I love talking to the Mid-South about what's going on in sports. But I do love the Memphis Tigers. That's where I went to college. It's where I played. That's where it's where my heart is. My dad went there. My mom went there. I wish my kids would have gone there, but of course they didn't want to be like their dad. Maybe my youngest eventually will. Maybe not. But anyway, from back in the day when my friend Marquise Bolin was sacking Peyton Manning and stuff, against the Vols, and I was watching that, and I grew up with Marquise. Like, that was awesome. So now I'm sitting here working with Gabe Kuhn and, Justin, and then Mike Norvell, and now to Ryan Silverfield, and to where this program, literally, I hate to say, the revolution didn't happen, if you know what I'm saying. Do you even know what Join the Revolution was?
In regards to Memphis football?
Do you know who the?
Are you saying in regards to Memphis football?
Do you know who Larry Porter is?
Yes, I know.
Okay,
Porter.
I mean,
that was the saying, is join the revolution.
Join the revolution,
because he could recruit real well, right?
Oh man, dude, they had 3 freaking penalties. His first, they couldn't even line up right, man, against Mississippi State. I almost cried up in the booth. I thought, man, I was about to cry. I was a young kid, but again, to see where Tiger athletics were in the football program and where they are today, to see what Tiger basketball was under the days of Dana Kirk and Larry Finch, and then on to John. And, of course, we had those bad years in the middle. I can mention those. And then, to JP, and then with what happened with Tubby Smith. And then you get Penny, and yes, some stuff happened with Wiseman, but now you're going to look at Zion Williamson, who's going to go talk in front of everything, and you're learning how great of a person actually Penny was. But in those 2 years, if you had forgotten or if you didn't pay attention, because I know a lot of people know Mike Miller from his NBA days and him being the dude that can stroke it, but what he meant to Penny Hardaway as a right hand, what he meant to this program, I'm being serious when I say this. I can't think of 2 people, honestly, who meant more to put 13,000 butts in that stadium than Penny Hardaway and Mike Miller. He will be missed greatly, and I will always appreciate Mike Miller for what he did. And I don't think Mike Miller's ever going to stop being a big Tiger fan. He's a big-time Penny fan, and I wish Mike, and I know Mike's going to be, he's always filled with success. He's been successful at everything he's ever done, from his days as a Gator boy to what he was in the NBA, to Let It Fly, to coaching with Penny Hardaway. He's going to spend some time with his family. His son's over at Houston. There's a lot of stuff going on, I'm sure, with his young life. but he's helped so many young people. I think it's just time that he wants to spend a little time with his family and then maybe think about his next step. But I can promise you this. It might not be written. You might not have your name in the rafters, and a lot of people might not remember exactly, what Mike Miller meant. But the people who are around and who've been around the program the last couple of years, we will always be very grateful. And thank you so much, Mike Miller. We appreciate everything you did for the Tiger program. And I know Penny Hardaway is going to have continued success, and we wish you and your family mad success. We'll be back in 2 shakes. This is Sports 56, always brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. My very good friend Chad Gatlin. Give him a call, 901-235-1176. Again, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. Weekday afternoons from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, theme dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Farmers Insurance knows that there's a not-so-subtle difference between the sound of a car hitting your rear bumper and the sound of a clown car hitting your rear bumper.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Sorry about that.
We call that a 3-ring fender bender, and we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent.
They know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at MemphisFarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
Yo, 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 welcome into Sports 56 Happy Hour. I am Johnny Radio. That is Gabe Kuhn. We are your pusher men. Gabe pushed a lot of men around in the American, heck, in the SEC, all over the place when he was playing offensive line. Now, I've just been throwing passes my whole life. Now, it's been a long time since I've thrown a real pass, but man, on this radio, I've been throwing all kinds of crazy passes to you. Now, people out there who are catching them, hit us up on our text line. Seriously. All you have to do is 56JOIN to 67129. If you've never joined the text line, you need to do it. 67129. That's where you send. So you put 67129. I know it's not a long number. 67129 in the top. You put 56JOIN. Send that junt. It bounces back. Save it, and then you can text away for the rest of your life. It is absolutely fun, and I'm telling you, you will have fun hitting us up and talking about what's going down in the world. Now, a lot of people also know on Twitter at Johnny_Radio and, of course, at G_Kuhn71. We have talked about the NBA who's getting their act together. Even though they are, let's just be real, I've never seen a team bend over, touch their toes, and say, "Are you Zion? Come on, buddy."
Yeah, look, it had to be somewhat fair. You had to understand that those teams had a chance to make it in with the Grizzlies schedule. But I don't buy into the fact that they would have overtaken them by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. But 67129, we have a question in here. So if we can stretch from 3.5 to 4 game lead, does that mean there won't be a plan? If it's a 4 game lead, there will be a plan.
Yes, that's
correct.
correct.
If it's a 4 game, if it's a 4.5 game or 5 game lead, it won't be a 4.5. I can't imagine. But if it's a 4.5 or 5 game lead, there will not be a play-in. So this, I think, is fair to the Grizzlies in certain areas, and obviously the fact that they have to hold on to it is unfair. But you got to understand these other teams behind them did have a chance to catch them at the end of the season. So I get why the NBA is doing it. But again, I will hold this sort of thought to the end of time. If you have a 8 seed that you're playing in for, does it really matter?
It does not. Can I tell you why?
That's the only thing I can say. And I get, like, to some people, to a lot of big NBA fans, it clearly does matter because you want to give those teams a shot. But I don't think the Blazers, the Pelicans, any of those teams, I don't think the Grizzlies are going to beat the Lakers. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Now, I want to ask you a question. How many people know how many 8 seeds have beat a number 1 seed in the history of the National Basketball Association? I can tell you.
I'm curious. How many?
First time, 1994, when the Denver Nuggets upset the Seattle Supersonics 3-2. I still couldn't believe that, and yes, it did happen. And then they got their butts kicked in the very next round. 1999, the Knicks, the 8 seed, upset the Miami Heat, the 1 seed. It was so sad, but it was that shortened lockout season with only 50 games. 2007, Golden State Warriors upset the Dallas Mavericks, the number 1 seed. Golden State went out there and shot lights out, won that bad boy in 6, and guess what? Lost. And then the 2000 Memphis Grizzlies upset the San Antonio Spurs 4-2. And won their first playoff game and their first playoff series as well. And then last but not least, don't forget the 76ers who upset the Bulls 4-2. Now, and that was, of course, in 2012. Now, to say all these things, I want you to think about what I just said. It's happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 5 times in the history. How many teams have reached the finals of their conference? Never. How many have won the second series? 1. So what I'm trying to say is the fact that we are bending over backwards instead of and I don't understand why people can't hear my damn words. Get 2020 in the rear view bleeping mirror and as fast as you can, because you want to know a secret? There's not one person on God's green earth when, let's say, it's Kawhi Leonard, or let's say it's LeBron James and Anthony Davis, or Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, who are holding the Larry O'Brien trophy. Do you think in that moment somebody's going to be like, damn it, but New Orleans wasn't allowed in? They didn't get their chance. San Antonio didn't get to fight. Let me tell you a secret. No. And if you don't get the NBA season in your rearview mirror because of this BS, because the COVID-19 comes and causes problem, NBA, you did cut off your nose to spite your face. We'll be back in 2 shakes, and I'm going to tell you a secret. It's about to get ripe. It's about to get dope. Don't touch that dial. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7 FM.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
We're all in uncharted territory, looking for ways to support our communities. At Dell Technologies, we're making sure small businesses have the right tech solutions. Dell Technologies advisors are here for you, from helping small businesses stay connected and productive while working remotely with Windows 10 and Microsoft Teams, to rapidly deploying remote work solutions that limit upfront costs with Dell Financial Services. We're standing by you every step of the way. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Oh, my stomach.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Try new Pepto-Bismol Chews. The same fast relief of Pepto-Bismol, now in a delightful chew.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. On on AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports 56 Happy Hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Check it out right here.
Ladies and gentlemen. And now?
Now, the only man to give death a near Johnny experience. Johnny Harden.
I am a Christmas tree or some GG4, maybe some gelato, Gorilla Glue 4, by the way, pretty good. But light me up if you know what I'm saying. It's Sports 56 Happy Hour. Maybe you want a cocktail. Have you a cocktail? Because it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And I'll tell you what, from 3 to 6, Wolo and Stats, they're going to drive you home, and they're going to have you completely relaxed, and they're going to have you completely informed. But for right now, I'm going to do something so kind here on Hardenwood. I'm going to go and give you a little Peter in the afternoon. Me and Gabe Kuhn, we got Peter Edmiston who's going to join us. You know Peter Edmiston from Sports 56 Mornings. That's right, with CJ. He's on from 7 to 10 Monday through Friday. You've heard him on the airwaves for, my goodness, from the days back with Ron Tillery and Chris Raby to the days where he even worked with good old me. I don't know if he'd work with me anymore, but I do have to say I appreciate the fact that he's going to join us now. And if you're going to go out there in this world and you're going to be a Grizzlies fan or an NBA fan or just a good human being, at Peter Edmiston, I'd give him a follow, check him out, and always listen from 7 to 10 right here on Sports 56. And then don't forget, he writes for the Athletic. It's at The Athletic Memphis. Check him out. And he joins us now.
It's time for a little Peter in the afternoon.
My baby gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon.
Here's John with Peter Edmiston.
Nothing better than a little afternoon delight or a little Peter Edmiston. What's up, Peter? How are you doing this day?
Hey, buddy. I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm hanging in there. I've missed you, my man. Life treating you okay?
Yeah, man. You know, all in all, you know, we're in crazy times, my friend. So, you know, we're all just kind of hanging on as best we can. But yeah, we're okay around here.
Well, we are in some absolute lunatic times, from the COVID-19 to injustice and racism in this country, to Major League Baseball, to the NBA, to heck, NCAA sports, and Zion Williamson having to now, after today, the judge came out and said he will have to testify under oath. Is Duke going to actually take one in the keister? Will this help Penny Hardaway? We got, you know, the Grizzlies getting screwed, at least in my opinion. I know it's a money grab. And I brought up in the last segment about how many 8 seeds have upset 1 seed and how far they've ever gone, and how it is that, you know, 8 regular season games and this stupid round robin play-in BS to me is, I think, crazy, because the way I look at this year is, and you tell me if I'm wrong, because this is my first question from my very good friend Peter Edmiston, who you listen to 7 to 10 right here, and a hell of a lot smarter than me. I've always said, you get 1 through 16, you get the playoffs, you give out the Larry O'Brien trophy, and you get 2020 in the rearview mirror, and you let everybody else worry about the damn chaos. Am I crazy for saying that?
Well, I mean, that's one approach. I don't know. It depends. Again, it depends on, you know, how you look at it. I mean, it's really complicated, man. I mean, number one, you have to think about financial considerations.
Correct.
You know, you got to think about health considerations. You got to think about competitive considerations. So let's look at each of those things.
Okay.
You know, from a health standpoint, you want fewer. The fewer people there, the better.
Correct.
To prevent the spread of COVID-19, and you want, you know, good criteria in place for the people that are there. That is yet to be, you know, made public, so we don't really know exactly what that's going to look like from the NBA's perspective. So that to me would eliminate, you know, bringing all 30 teams down there.
Well, now this is where I'm basically, because I feel like they've almost. I mean, at least their signal is that this, especially from Woj, this is going to be a 22-game or 22-team, whatever, 16 playoff teams, the 1 through 8 in both seasons, plus New Orleans, Portland, Phoenix, Sacramento, San Antonio, and Washington, I believe.
Right.
And again, this is what the reason I bring this up to you is you look at the 8 seed or you look at the seeds lower than that. We've only had 5 8s ever beat a 1. We've only had 1 8 ever win 2 rounds in the NBA. I just don't understand the point when I feel like the point should be to get 2020 in the rear view, if you know what I mean. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you again, like I said, you could look at it like that, but I think that in this case, then you have to go to the financial considerations. So we got the health considerations that remains to be seen. From a competitive standpoint, you're going to have to set this thing up to allow for you've got all these teams that are lobbying Adam Silver and the folks at top the NBA.
Heck, Atlanta's coach was going bananas.
Well, you just have different people on different things. Every organization wants whatever's best for their organization. So some organizations, Michael Jordan said, we really don't care about going down there. It's not worth the health risk. Atlanta wants to play. Other teams, so you have to take all these things into consideration. You're going to make somebody mad with all this. But I would look at it like this. I don't think it's unfair to the Grizzlies, the situation that appears to be happening. I really don't. I think people, because here's
that's why I ask you, because I don't know.
Because here's what it looks like. So just so everyone knows, it's almost certain to be this. There's a 22-team grouping that's going to be, and every team is going to play their final 8 games, whatever the next 8 games on the schedule were going to be.
Okay.
Those 8 games, if it was a team that's not part of the 22, then you skip over and you get to the next game that would be part of the team that's down there on the 22.
Interesting. I didn't know
so
that.
You get to that point. That's what it looks like is going to happen. At the end of that situation, if the 8th seeded team, the Grizzlies in this case, or the over on the east side, Brooklyn or Orlando, no.
Oh,
if
other side, the other 8.
Team,
okay,
if the 8 seeded teams on either side have a 4-game lead or higher, there is no play-in game, and they just go straight to the playoffs. If it is less than 4 games, then there is a play-in game for that spot, and that play-in game would be double elimination. It would be double elimination for the 8th seed and single elimination for the 9th seed. So to me, that's a very number one. The Grizzlies' next 8 games are going to be brutal, no matter what. They are brutal. They were going to be brutal, but 5 of those 8 were going to be on the road, including at Milwaukee. Now all those games are going to be on neutral floor. Meanwhile, the Pelicans knocked off games against the Hawks and the Knicks. Those are no longer on the schedule. They've replaced them with harder games. In a much more friendly situation. Now there are 2 Pelicans-Grizzlies games that are going to be amongst those 8 games that are played. So those are going to be critical, obviously, for that matchup. But if the Grizzlies can go something like 4-4, it's going to be mathematically real hard for those teams behind them to jump up and even get within 4 games. Because right now 3.5 is where Portland's at, and the Grizzlies play Portland right out of the chute. If they beat Portland in that first game, that almost knocks Portland out. I mean, that puts them in a really tough position right away. So if the Grizzlies can get a win there, now the Grizzlies are going to be healthier. If they had played Portland back in March, Justice Winslow was going to be making his debut. He was listed as questionable, but my understanding is that he would have played. Jaren Jackson Jr. was not going to play, though. Brandon Clark would not have played. Now those guys presumably would all be healthy and ready to go. And would have time to acclimate. Justice Winslow gets the benefit of basically a second training camp to come in and work with his teammates and get used to whatever system the Grizzlies are going to use with him. So competitively, I think it's a benefit to the Grizzlies. I think it wouldn't be fair considering that the Grizzlies had the most difficult schedule of any team in the NBA remaining, and the Pelicans, for example, had the easiest schedule. I get the Zion and that whole thing, and I understand there's a conspiracy theory and all that, but if the roles were reversed, and the Grizzlies had the easiest schedule remaining, including 2 games against that team that was 4 games ahead of them.
But at the end of the year, I tried to mention this, having the most difficult schedule at the end of the year is usually a beneficial thing because the teams at 1 and 2, 3, or whatever, they're resting players even more than they normally are. And it's almost like, you've watched it. You can go back and look in years past. The teams that are like 1, 2, 3, and 4, they know where they're going to be in the playoffs. They don't even, half the time, bring their stars out there to even play.
Yeah, but a lot of those were also against the teams that they would have been competitive with for the playoff spots.
Yeah, they did have Portland.
There's plenty of Portland. There's plenty of Portland, San Antonio, New Orleans. It seems like that. So I think I don't think you can just blanket say that. I think
you're right in that aspect. But
you would have much rather had the Pelicans schedule, the Grizzlies schedule. I mean,
I agree.
There's no question about that.
You are 100% right. But I've been saying this on the phone, on the airwaves for weeks, that sometimes greed and money can get in the way that you can cut off your nose to spite your face. You look at the television revenue for a postseason, TV-wise, if they get it in, it is only about $50 million short of $1 billion. We're talking about if you get the regular season in, then all the teams get to split, and they each get about an extra additional $50 million. Now, again, I know I'm not a math genius. You're a lot smarter than I am. I would be much more concerned about getting the big stack of cash than worrying about making sure I control this also little stack of cash and trying to, I guess, have my cake and eat it too, because I'm just worried about getting 2020 in.
Well, I don't think, but again, you also have to think, but if that's the case, then you could go to a single elimination tournament or something crazy like that. I mean, they're not worried about that. That's not their priority.
So they're not even okay.
They don't want to get 2020 in. They want a champion. They want to have a legitimate championship, not only for the money. That's obviously a huge part of it.
Does that seem practical to you, though?
I mean, it doesn't. It seems reasonable at this point. Everything is. I don't even know, because we don't know. It's 2 months from now. Lord knows what's going to happen in the next 2 months. 2 months is like 2 years. So I have no idea what it's going to look like by the end of July. But I mean, like at this point, it seems relatively feasible.
It does.
I think they're playing a little fast and loose with the health considerations, but I think everyone is right now. I mean, let's be honest. Look at Shelby County. We didn't really meet all the criteria to open for phase 1, and we opened for phase 1 anyway. Yep. We didn't really meet all the criteria for phase 2, and we kept going with phase 2. And it looks like things are trending in the wrong direction, and we still just kind of keep on doing whatever it is that we're doing. So I don't know that anyone's and everyone seems to just kind of let go of the rope on this thing a little bit. So we'll see what the NBA's health protocols have to say about that. But think about this. Right now, we are nowhere near being able to have fans in arenas for the 2021 season. So you've got to consider, if you're Memphis, you get a big chunk of your money comes from that live gate. That's a big chunk of who you are. You don't have a huge local television deal. In fact, you have the pretty much the smallest one in the league. You don't have those revenues that the larger markets get. You get a big chunk of it from the fans' attendance. Well, you're not going to get that next year, and so you have to figure out every bit of money that comes in. Now you have got to use it and hold on to it, because next year there are some pretty dire possibilities. And not only that, but look at owners around the league. Many more owners, like Tillman Fertitta of the Rockets, for example. Guys are pretty. Some guys are a little more liquid than others. Some guys are their businesses are hurt outside of basketball more than others. You have some owners that could be in some tough financial situations. So the money part of it matters a lot more than people realize. They need to take advantage of this year and get every bit of money they can, because no one knows what next year is going to look like. No one knows even when it's going to start, what the fan situation, where these games are going to be played, how many, there's just so much up in the air that right now you can not quite guarantee, but you have a pretty good idea that you can get your regular season money in, and you can get some playoff money in. You got to take that, man, if you're the NBA.
Now, I want to ask you something that's a little bit out of your league, and I'll probably get back to the NBA, but I know I have to mention this because a few people have texted me, because they say that you bleed orange, you're a Vol guy. Some people actually text me and actually say you hate the Tigers, which I always laugh at.
Not true.
I'm sure you've read this before, and I find it absolutely hilarious. But with where the Vols are at their current situation, I got a bunch of people texting me and how the Tigers are basically about to fall off the face of the map with Mike Miller. I think Mike Miller meant so much to the Tigers, and in 2 years, what he's done, I don't think, when, 10 years from now, they're going to be able to look back and realistically, people are going to remember how much Mike Miller meant to the program. But is there anything that you want to say about what Mike Miller actually did for the young people in this area, and what you say to the texters out there who are basically sending out things like this? If he ain't with us anymore, he's against us, and blah, blah, blah. The crazy lunacy that you will see on our wonderful Twitter sphere.
I mean, crazy lunacy. You don't have to respond to all kinds of crazy lunacy, but I mean, there are people that would be anytime anyone leaves, there's going to be people that get mad about that and think that it's wrong and disloyal and whatever. I mean, Mike Miller, and I have to give props to my guy Eli Savoy. I heard Eli talking about this back in, I want to say it was March or February, and he said, Eli said on the show, I remember where I was driving down I-40, and he says, Mike Miller's not going to be an assistant coach next year. He is not going to do it. And I just kind of filed that in the back of my head because, Eli would know. And lo and behold, it's exactly right. I mean, I don't think Mike Miller got in the business of doing this to be an assistant coach for a real long time. And so head coaching positions, it's a little bit different now. The economics of college basketball, a little bit different right now with all of the COVID-related issues, budgetary issues, and everything else that are happening. Their openings are not
the Nike and Adidas issues, and
well, I don't even think it's that. I think it's just that look around the league, look around the country. I mean, who's getting fired?
Nobody.
No one is. There's not this appetite to pay a bunch of buyouts. You can't pay buyouts. You can't go out there and get donations right now because money is drying up. It's not a time to be doing a lot of shopping around for new head coaches. And so for Mike, I don't think he really wanted to go around and do the recruiting stuff anymore. He wants to spend a little time with his family while he can. I think he'd like to be a head coach, but he may have to recalibrate, what level he wants to coach or how that's going to work now with the new reality of college sports. So I just don't think he had the appetite. I don't think he had the appetite to do it anymore. I don't think he had the appetite to do it anymore as an assistant in college. And I mean, I'd rather him, go ahead and take a year off than sort of half-ass it for a while or whatever. So I think it's he's done himself a favor and he's done everybody else a favor, and it's a shame because he's a great recruiter. But if his heart's not in it, and I don't think it was, then you can't keep doing it.
Nope. And again, though, he has meant so much to Memphis, so much to the recruits that have come through with Penny. He's meant so much to Penny. I said he's basically been Penny's right hand for the last 2 years. It's hard to replace your right hand. I don't think one man's going to be able to replace Mike Miller. I think it's going to be a complete group effort, and I think it's going to be hard, but I think Memphis fans should appreciate who Mike Miller was. And I did want to ask you, do you think that his next step after he takes maybe a little time off, do you think he'll end up moving towards the NBA, or do you think he'll end up being a college coach?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I think, Mike at the end of his NBA career was kind of a halfway assistant coach, with the Nuggets and Cavs and some of the teams like that. So he can certainly do that. He's got a passion for young people and developing them. Maybe he goes the approach of I wouldn't be surprised to see him back and get a head coaching job in college. I think he's proven certainly in the 2 years that he was here what he can do recruiting wise and what he can do. His by all accounts, he was the games that he put game plans together for all that stuff were really, really good, really shrewd. So I think there's no reason to expect that he couldn't do that as a head coach. It may just be that the timing right now is not great, and he doesn't really want to be an assistant anymore. So, he steps away, takes a year off, takes a breather, and then comes back refreshed.
Hangs out with the fam,
when the market's a little bit different.
When we don't have COVID
Mike's
running
got plenty
around.
Of cash.
Yeah,
Mike's got plenty of cash. Your kid is, his son's going to be a senior.
He's a senior at Houston, I think. Yeah.
You don't necessarily have all that. Those are special times, and he's in a position where he does not have to, schlep to work, do the old 9-to-5 thing. So, why do it if your heart's not in it and you want to spend some time with your family? I think that's the right move and get back into it when your kid's in college.
Now, I got to say goodbye to you, but last but not least, I wanted to save this for last because I find it such a large joke. I call him basically Captain D, ends with a bag Dolan. He makes statements. He does things I don't get. He plays the blues, but he throws out Charles Oakley. He's the dude who woke up on third base and thought he hit a triple. I can't stand the dude who owns the Knicks and runs Madison Square Garden. But after he basically sends out a thing that says he's not more qualified than anyone else to offer an opinion, or basically anybody who works for the Knicks cannot offer an opinion on social matters. Then he comes out today to emphasize that he condemns racism. Wow, what a statement. What do you think the embarrassment is, and are other owners and players starting to get to realize we got a hella problem in New York?
The short answer is no.
Is it because of money?
They knew Donald Sterling was a complete racist piece of trash for years and didn't do anything about it. I mean, this was a guy that was actually convicted and had to pay out in a housing discrimination case.
Yep,
which he systemically discriminated against black tenants. He was a slumlord, and they didn't care because he had the money, and it was much more convenient for them not to worry about that stuff. So, James Dolan's idiocy is a drop in the bucket compared to that, because he's well capitalized and he's sitting there in New York. As far as the statement and stuff goes, look, man, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think it would have been better for the Knicks to have a true, heartfelt, honest to goodness statement. But considering how many mealy-mouthed, ridiculous, word salad, garbage statements we've seen from so many teams and corporations out there that mean nothing and that have no value, I'm fine with them just saying, you know what, we can't add anything to this conversation. I think it's sad that they can't add anything to the conversation. I think you should have some reflection about why it is that you feel like you can't add anything or have any kind of a thing to speak to. But if all you're going to do is just bleed out a bunch of corporate gobbledygook that has no value in terms of actually doing something about the problem, then shut up. So I'm actually fine with that from that standpoint.
I think what you just said makes is very profound. It makes tons of sense. But what do you think about the fact that the internal memo and basically him telling that his employees at Madison Square Garden that they can't offer an opinion, and they are basically no better than him to offer up or qualified to give any issue, to give an opinion on social matters. That's what I found so condescending. Like, if I worked at Madison Square Garden, I feel like he was trying to take away, basically just my right to speak.
Well, and that's probably true. But I mean, look at how he handled the situation with Charles Oakley earlier in the year. Look at how he's handled situations in the past. Look at what he allowed, the Isaiah Thomas, sexual discrimination and all that stuff. I mean, there's so many different. Why would you expect anything less? I mean, if you choose to work for that man, then you understand who you're working for. He's not made it a secret, the kind of owner that he is. So I can't really. I would love for people to, and I'm sure his team, and I feel very badly for the players who are drafted by the Knicks and who don't have any choice in the matter. And I'm sure they're furious about all of this. And it really sucks that, this vibrant, fantastic, huge media market has such a ridiculously terrible owner. But, let's be honest, it's good for the Grizzlies and good for all the small market teams that the biggest market in the league is being held down artificially by one of the biggest idiots in the league. That's great news for everybody else. God forbid that they figure it out. Look what Steve Ballmer did with the Clippers. As soon as they had a halfway decent owner, now they are a force, and they got a new arena coming. They got they're so they were a laughingstock forever. So it's great for the Grizzlies. Keep Dolan there as long as possible.
Dude, I can't say it any better. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want nothing but class, turn it in 7 to 10. Peter and CJ, Sports 56 Mornings. Follow Peter at Peter Edmiston, and also read his work on The Athletic. Just go to The Athletic Memphis, and you can get all the Grizzlies stuff that Peter's writing. Plus, what else are you working on these days that I'm missing?
Oh, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. I'm no longer homeschooling my children, so I'm on a summer break there.
How's that feel?
Great.
Were you good? Were you a good teacher to your children, or do your teacher like asking you? I'm sure you're probably going to say yes.
No, I was not. Teachers are wonderful. I appreciate what they do. It is a very difficult job. I did the best I could with the limited resources I had. I was this would be like me trying to replace Ichiro in the top of the lineup. I just trying to get the bat on the ball, man. That's all I'm trying to do out there. I'm not trying to do anything more than that.
Man, Peter, I love talking to you. Thanks for giving everybody a little Peter in the afternoon. Check it out in the morning, though, from 7 to 10, and always check him out at Peter Edmiston. You be good out there and stay safe. All right, my brother?
You too, buddy. Hope you're well.
Thank you. That's my buddy Peter. You check him out. Him and CJ, Sports 56 Mornings. And don't forget to give him a follow. Now, before I get on to all the other things, I got to remind you one thing. In the lunacy that we are today with the NBA, the MLB, with George Floyd, with everything that's going on in the world today, guess what? One thing does stay the same. 901-406-1101. He's not going to change no matter what's going down. Any house, any area, as simple as that, as is. If you need to sell your house, I'm being serious as a heart attack. If it's been on the market for a couple weeks, even a couple months, heck, if it's been on the market for 90 days, why? 901-406-1101, bing, bang, boom. I just sold your house. I had a friend call Gabe the other day and say, thank you so much. Tell people how good Bill really is. He closes in 5 days, just like everybody says. If you need to sell your house, if you're sick of renters, if you're just ready to get rid of this joint because you're moving on up, whatever it is, the situation, just call 901-406-1101. Say it with me, 901-406-1101. Bing, bang, boom. I literally just sold your house. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about maybe if you don't want to sell your house, a roofer here in a little bit. But what he did for my dad was pretty dope. I'll tell you about them. But remember, any house, any area, as is, as simple as that. 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Them Houses. Sports 56 96.1 87.7 FM.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof or even if you need one by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now, when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Visit Frontier Western Store this Father's Day for the perfect gifts for Dad. From now until Father's Day, you'll save big on the classic Carhartt K87 short sleeve tee. Get 2 for $25. Frontier carries every color they make, including this year's brand new colors. All sizes are in stock and on sale, small to 4X. All Carhartt Force t-shirts are 25% off too. This hard-working cotton blend wicks away sweat, resists stains, and has a relaxed fit, giving Dad plenty of room to move. Save big on Force at 25% off. Also, all men's pants and jeans, $5 off. Wrangler, Carhartt, and Ariat. Every pair of khakis, jeans, dungarees, and even FR workwear, $5 off. All Carhartt shorts are 25% off too. While you're there, grab Dad some boots. You know he'd love a new pair. Frontier has thousands of boots in stock at amazing everyday low prices. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Going out west where the winds blow tall. Man, I'd always want to sing little JB. Like hanging out. Got my man, dude. Big old beard. Sitting there playing the guitar. High as giraffe. You know what? GG4. Maybe a little Afghani super skunk. Ow! Having fun at Panic. I can't wait. I'll tell you one thing. Back in the day, Gabe, I know you were probably a youngster. But, man, like at 96, 94, 96.
Getting down, huh?
Bro, Lakewood Amphitheater.
Where's that at?
Wild.
Where's Lakewood at?
Down in New Orleans.
Okay.
Oh, man. Halloween. Woo! We had so much fun down at UNO Lakefront Arena. I can't even tell you. It was just dis-ope. But speaking of the things that are great in life, enjoying a little widespread, enjoying a band, enjoying sports. Because that's the thing that I enjoy most in this world. And football I love with all my heart. Baseball, though, being the probably... You know, I've talked about it. I've thought about it. I love football so damn much. And because there's college football and the NFL, it feels like the combination of the NCAA and NFL take the cake for MLB. But the amount of time I spend on the MLB network, the amount of time I spend during the summer watching, I got the whole package. I got all the games, except for they black out for some damn reason. Like Cincinnati, which makes no sense. And they'll block out some Atlanta games and then most all Cardinals games, which I can't stand. But anyway, baseball does their thing weird. But with all the stuff that is going on in this world, we got the NBA figuring it out. Don't feel that it's fair for the Grizzlies, but they're going to end up playing. We got, you know, they're moving things back for the NFL. They're moving things back for the NCAA. Might be a callous statement by Gordon Gee, but they come out and they're saying they're watching even the rioters with George Floyd. They're learning about the coronavirus. Do they want it 50% capacity or 100% capacity next fall? I mean, I'm like, is this real? But no, it is real. It looks like sports are going to happen. People are coming back. I mean, again, you've got even Lincoln. Oh, like, do you remember Lincoln Riley a month ago? Saying it was absolutely absurd that people would be meeting on campus, I believe, June 1st or something, around there, June 8th or something. He said it was insane. Have you seen his latest statement?
I have not.
Lincoln Riley says, while he's still afraid, coaches might be pushing the limits with these voluntary workouts. But he says one thing, I'm starting to, well, at least have that temptation. Or that belief that things are going to be all right. I don't necessarily know the boundaries right now, but I don't know. I'm starting to get fired up for maybe some spring practice. Does that not sound like a dude who's come a complete almost 180 on, we cannot be on campus? I mean, and then another statement, sadly, in our college game, voluntary has always been a very loose term. The reality of voluntary, basically, there's no voluntary. The reality of the matter is this. Different institutions and their different conferences that allow you to do a different amount of work. It's not fair. Or some just look at it the other way. It's unfortunate that that is what comes to the right, that comes to the front right now. But we have other parts of our year where that's always been an issue. And it's well known across coaches, players across the country. That's a rule that a rule applies for one, doesn't apply to another, and is very differently skewed in different places in different parts of the country. He's basically saying now that with the June 1st, the NCAA saying that voluntary activities are cool, guess what he's come out and basically said? I don't think it's crazy. I don't want to sit there and tell you you're a loser. SEC, you've lost your mind. He's basically saying the temptation is high. I can't force you to come out there. But dadgummit, I can't wait to get our players back on campus. And I mean right away. My temptation is high. What does that sound? I just read his words. What does that sound like to you?
Well, they're coming back July 1st, and that's the Oklahoma's
Yes,
statement on it, and I think Lincoln Riley had a lot to do with that. But I think it's a statement saying that he's chomping at the bit like every other football coach. I don't think he's had a huge change in mind. I just think he is starting to realize, okay, that July 1st date's getting closer. I really want to see my kids again.
Okay, now, June 1st was the first when the SEC's moved it back. I think it went to June 8th or something, or even maybe a little bit later. And then he finished with this. And I wanted to ask you what you thought, because this is exactly almost what you said. The things I'm proud of is we didn't wait for somebody else to do it. We did wait for people of science. We did our due diligence, and somebody isn't going to tell us when and what we can do. We just simply did what we thought was best for our athletes. When our competitors said they're bringing them back early, we didn't flinch. What he's basically acting now like, hey, we're going to bring them back just a month later, but we did our due diligence.
He's definitely giving himself a pat on the back on this one for sure.
Come on, give it to us, Lincoln. You know what? Give us some damn Hardwood, baby.
This is Access Hardwood.
Cannot stop laughing about how Lincoln has taken a complete 180. What about you, Mr. Gabe?
You know what? I want to start here with some positive news. You remember Sky Brown, right?
Out of the hospital.
11-year-old. She's out of the hospital. And the interesting thing she has a broken wrist, skull fractures, broken hand, and a black eye. And she got out that quick. I was amazed. She's obviously the
Toughest
skateboard
kid
phenom who fell really bad on a vertical ramp. And she ended up hanging out with Tony Hawk when she got out of the hospital. And Tony Hawk saying this says a lot. I have to say. Tony Hawk said, from my perspective and in many ways, it was the worst fall one could take from a vert ramp.
It's the worst I've ever seen. Did you see her dad basically was videotaping her, but before he drops the thing,
I would have
you
cried.
could see where I don't know how. She had a fractured skull, like you said. Black eye, broken wrist, broken arm. I would have been in tears. The girl is like the sweetest little person, and like you said, she sent out a video.
She's in this
smiling.
picture with
she's got her
smiling.
She's smiling with a black eye, and she's got her arm in a sling, and she's like, "What's up?" And she's like, "I'm ready to rip it up when this cast comes off."
She's a little bad, you know what?
She's
man.
a bad, you know what. You are 100% right. By the way, Sky Brown, I love you. You're awesome. Now, I got to ask this question, and this is going to be a very difficult question. This isn't something that I like to talk really during Hardwood because I like to have fun. But my man Dick Fangio, which I call him Dick because he is Dick Fangio. His real name is Vic, but come on, let's be real. We could call him Prick Fangio or Idiot Fangio. But did y'all hear about what Dick said today? Terrell Owens, I think, came out and said probably one of the best things ever. I thought it was poignant. He came out and he says he needs to be drug tested. Do you know why he said that? Because Vic Fangio, the head coach of the Denver Broncos, said there's no racism at all in the NFL. Huh? Gabe?
We've cured it, man. We've cured it. I don't know what to tell you. Vic, we've cured it. Yep. We're there. Nothing to work on here.
This is the best part.
Come on, Vic.
This is so funny. He says racism in the NFL to me is a joke. We're in a league we're of a meritocracy. How many times have I said that sports is the greatest meritocracy there are in society? It ain't perfect, though. And by the way, we're in a league of meritocracy. You earn what you get. You get what you earn. I don't see racism at all in the NFL. I don't see discrimination in the NFL. I've never seen it. What the hell was Colin Kaepernick? Was he around in the NFL when that happened? I just want to ask you, and I'm going to leave it as simple as this. And it was in this week's, it was down in, what was it? I think it was in Florida. They put out what I thought was the very simplest thing you could ever do. It showed Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem, and it shows Derek kneeling on George Floyd's neck. And it says simply this: which act of taking a knee will white Americans decry as an offensive violation of patriotic values and constitutional rights? It's very damn simple. I came to tears last week when I thought about how I came out and was not against Colin Kaepernick, but I just simply said, hey, we've moved past this. Let's all stand and sing Kumbaya bleeping ya. And then I see what happened to Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd. I hear what my grandson was called at school. I'm pissed. And you should be too. Heck, I can't even watch it. And I feel like such a shallow individual for actually arguing with CJ one time and basically saying that racism doesn't really exist in this country anymore. God damn, that was I'm sorry. That was the smallest minded view. That was the worst comment I've ever said in the history of radio. And I hope to God I'm forgiven. Hate myself for that statement. But again, I want to ask you, which one are you going to do, people? Which one is literally an offense, a violation of patriotic values and constitutional rights? Figure it out. If you know the answer, hit me up, 67129. I'll be there with you. Now, did you agree with him, by the way, or did you think he lost his mind? I just want to know. Yeah.
Do I really have to answer this question?
Well, the reason I'm asking.
Absolutely the hell not. Why do you think we have the Rooney Rule conversations every year? We don't. We literally have to put in laws in the NFL to try to get minority candidates in the door. Like, I'm not about to. When Vic Fangio said this, I just Vic.
That's
come
embarrassing.
On, man. Like what? Like I don't even know the thought process behind that.
I don't either.
If you explained it, maybe you could enlighten me here, but I don't think you will enlighten me because I think there's no real point to what you're saying. I think you're just living in a fantasy land.
And then I wanted to say a big shout out to Dak Prescott, who hadn't got his money yet. He hadn't got paid. He knows he's going to get paid. But did you hear what Dak did? Dak gave $1 million, pledged it, because he says, I know I'm going to get it, and I'm going to write you this check. And you know what he's going to give $1 million to?
I thought it was a great cause.
Improving police training. Not
beautiful.
No. This is $1 million because he wants these cops to be trained. He says systematic racism is the problem, but through education and advocacy and people being out there and talking to them and training these officers. In Germany, it's 139 weeks to train to be a police officer. In America, it's 12. 139 weeks in Germany, 12 in the United States. Do you have to have a college degree to be a police officer? Hail to the Nizzo. Why are we giving people that don't even have a... Listen, some of them are great. And what I'm trying to say
Actually, a lot of them are great.
99% maybe are great. But I know a cop. I know him. He is a very uneducated, ignorant moron who basically, the minute he got out of high school, which he basically, I don't think finished, I think he got his GED, went straight up, became a Shelby County cop. Why? Because he always was that little dude who wanted to bother people, and I still know him today. Hell, I'm probably running into him now soon since I'm bringing him up on the air. But I promise you, if I do, I'll bring you up on my show too, Home Slice. Now, and that's not a threat. That's just straight up truth. Dak pledging $1 million. Thank you, Dak. That is something I consider straight up dope. But then there's another thing that I have to also say. We got a player that's already tested positive for COVID. Have you heard about this?
Football. Is this NCAA?
Oklahoma State. Yep. Football.
Yeah, he was at a demonstration in Oklahoma City.
Sure was.
Try to pronounce his name. I want to hear you try that.
I would say is Amin Ogbiamin.
I doubt that that's correct.
Amin Ogbiamin.
Some tells me that's
wrong. It's
Amin
Ogbiamin.
Okay.
I'm pretty good about faking some stuff.
Go with it.
Hey, I'm faking it really good. I sounded very convincing. It's Amin Ogbiamin.
But he caught COVID-19 at a demonstration, and he went.
Way,
and I will say this:
superstar.
he was a second team all conference guy. He went straight to
awesome.
He went straight to Twitter and told people out there to be careful.
Yes, he did. He
advocated,
implored, actually.
Please be careful.
He implored people to take precaution while demonstrating because he flat out said, please, I truly believe that I was out here protesting. I was trying to take care of myself, and I want you to stay safe. I still want you to protest, but I truly believe I caught the coronavirus out here, and I've now hurt my team by trying to help America. And again, he is so honest and open. I have mad respect for the dude.
Apparently, Oklahoma State has 4 other cases that they've had to deal with coronavirus on the football team.
And you know what's, by the way, can I just tell you a little secret? It's so weird that you got a man with a mullet, and then you got so many people that you can actually respect. Dude, party in the business in the front, party in the back. You know that, man. You know he's got him a tutor in his car, driving down the street. Come on, I'm an Oklahoma State Cowboy, baby. Oh, yeah. Now, speaking of somebody who's going to make sure they take care of business, my dad's roof called me up and said, yo, man, I heard you talking about Brian Elder Roofing. Are they the real deal Holyfield? And I'm like, dude, I've known Chris Price and Brian Elder for now 2 decades. 901-867-0303. My dad was like, do you need to call him for me? I said, no, just call 901-867-0303. I'm telling you right now, they're going to come out there. They're going to look at your roof. They're going to inspect it. And you know what's going to happen? If there is a reason to fix your roof, they're going to fix it. If there is no reason to fix your roof, they're going to say, peace, enjoy life. It's good for you. Now, if there's also this thing called hail damage or storm damage, the best part about it is, guess what they're going to do? They're going to get in touch with your insurance agency, and they're going to make sure that you don't even have to pay a single penny out of this. And guess what? No joke. My old man, Kevin, what's up, dog? 901-867-0303. I didn't call them. He didn't tell him that he was my daddy. He didn't do nothing. He just called them up. They showed up. They hopped on his roof. He said they took like 50 damn pictures. He said within 4 hours later, they sent him out an estimate. The estimate was basically to his insurance company and was saying that he is not going to be liable for any. They're waiting on it. And guess what he got back yesterday? They're going to start working on his roof this week. He's getting a brand new roof because of all the hail damage and storm damage. Guess how much money he's spending out of his pocket? Not one dead gum penny. 901-867-0303. They'll measure your roof from outer space. They're going to protect you. They are watching out for COVID-19. They'll call you. They're complying with social distancing standards. But the one thing I always got to tell you, if you want the real deal Holyfield, if you want somebody that's going to be around, if you want somebody that's always going to do their job, quality workmanship, and they're going to treat your house just like it's theirs, 901-867-0303. Call my buddy Brian Elder. Call my buddy Chris Price. Go to BrianElderRoofing.com, and whatever you do, don't touch that dadgum dial. Sports 56 96 1-877 FM.
The word is out about R&R on Sports, where you've heard interviews from Ken Griffith Jr., Dr. J, Hank Aaron, and many, many more. Right here, R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m., Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Don't miss it.
To help keep your home up and running, the Home Depot has the appliance help you can count on. Download the Home Depot app or visit HomeDepot.com to search for savings on top brands like Samsung, with ratings and reviews to give you confidence, special buy savings, and free delivery. You'll get the appliances you need to keep your home running without even leaving home. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Free delivery on purchases of $396 or more. Continental U.S. only.
Though we are apart these days, we're sharing more, and Geico would like to say thanks. Thanks for sharing your savage dance moves. Thanks for sharing your DIY haircut fails. Thanks for sharing your inner lip sync star. Now it's Geico's turn to share too, with the Geico Give Back, a 15% credit on car and motorcycle policies for current and new customers. And because Geico's committed for the long haul, the 15% credit lasts your full policy term. Visit geico.com/giveback for information and eligibility.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio.
Kick it over here.
This hour is brought to you by MemphisFarmers.com. Insurance coverage backed by a local agent and a brand trusted nationwide. We are farmers. MemphisFarmers.com.
Thick and thin, I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
Holy moly, I was about to do a little bit of sports with you, but guess what? Did you see the breaking news, Mr. Gabe Kuhn? By the way, welcome into Sports 56 Happy Hour. Coming up next is Sports Time with Sports 56, my two great friends, Wolo and Stats. They're going to drive you home from 3 to 6. They might even talk more about this, but I just saw this. I don't know much about it. I literally sat down, come across my little ticker thing, says, new charges in the George Floyd death. Derek Chauvin faces second-degree murder. The 3 other officers have been charged as well. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison is increasing the charges against Derek Chauvin to second degree in George Floyd's murder and also charging the other 3 officers. Yes, I am not joking. It is, it's better late than never, but the other officers who didn't do a damn thing, who also put their knee on him and didn't help a man, they are finally being charged for basically being a bad human being. This is a very significant step in my personal opinion. I honestly know that a lot of people are suffering out there, and I know you're hurting, but if you can hear my voice, know I love you. Everybody out there, take that hate out your heart. Let's put a little bit of love in there. And we are going to take significant steps to changing this justice system. Lady Justice is going to stop seeing bags of money. She's going to learn to be blind, and she's not going to see color anymore. Hopefully, everybody is now sick of it. And I truly actually believe, and maybe I'm naive, but I believe we are going to come so damn long. Hopefully, Dr. King can actually see his dream from wherever that perch is that he sits. But I also got to say, speaking of a perch, I go down to the Civil Rights Museum, went down there Friday night, I went down there Saturday night, saw beautiful, beautiful people sitting out there praying, saw police officers being awesome. And then right in the background, though, right behind the Civil Rights Museum, I saw my staple. I saw my peeps over at Central Barbecue, and I'm serious as a heart attack. Yes, these are tough times, and all kinds of things are going on in this world, but I can tell you one thing, Memphis still has amazing barbecue, and people still have to eat, and there's 4 amazing locations. You got the original at Central, you got Summer, you got the new Bad Boy, and yes, you got the one right behind the Lorraine Motel. That's right, downtown Central summer out east. When you think of smoke, when you think of ribs, when you think of pulled pork, when you think of smoked chicken, when you think of turkey, that's the real deal turkey, not just like on Christmas style turkey, but I can get turkey like that kind of turkey. Yeah, think Central. 4 amazing locations, and then think this. Open up your heart. Maybe you got somebody in another state. They don't get to eat good old Memphis barbecue. Go to eatcbq.com. Ship that unbelievable, just ship it to somebody that you love, that you care about. If you have a business deal that you want to close, ship that. You will close that deal. Eatcbq.com. That is Memphis. Smoke is their sauce. And don't forget the banana pudding, baby. I can promise you that. Now, for my good friend Gabe, for me, I got to say goodbye. Wolo and Stats, they're going to come up next. They're going to drive you home from 3 to 6. But until tomorrow, do me a favor. Get out there and make the world a better place. Love your neighbor. Love yourself. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Peace.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx,